Hi everyone, this is Sofian from Shaking Minds, and I hope that you all guys doing well during the recent events that we have right now. So we have received quite a lot of questions, and today I have decided to pick up some of the questions that we received, and I'm gonna pick a few of them, and I'm gonna answer your questions right there. Okay, so let's start with question number one: how not to be depressed. I love this one. So how not to be depressed? Well, the reason why you're depressed is probably because you're focusing on all the negative that is happening at the moment. So what I would recommend is start to switch your attention to the positive side of things. What is this new situation bringing different in your life? Maybe you have more spare time. So how can you use that spare time to build something new? You know, it could be like the perfect time to start to tick something out of your bucket list, like, you know, playing the piano. That's something you wanted to do for years and years. Maybe it's the right time to do that. So you can find a lot of things online that you can teach yourself, like you can find some books or things like that. Like internet is a huge content, huge bucket for content. So take advantage of it and start focusing on the kind of a positive things, or what can you do that will like help you grow and work on your personal development. That's how you're going to avoid being depressed. All right. Question number two: how to prepare for lockdown. So I think it's a really good question right there. So when you know that you're going to enter certain weeks of lockdown, as short as it is, we know that it's going to be a challenging time ahead. Well, what you want to think about when you prepare yourself to enter lockdown is think about what makes you happy, what activity makes you happy, and start to plan ahead. So let's say, for example, you have a family and you want to think about, okay, what activities as a family can we do? Maybe we can do some jigsaw puzzle, maybe we can create some specific games, maybe we need some cardboard and glue and, you know, whatever it is. So you need to kind of build like kind of a plan, like an emergency plan, and something that you can pull out at any moment. Maybe one day you're going to be stuck in the house because there's going to be a typhoon hitting or something like this. You never know. So it would be actually nice to discuss with the family, what is it that we like to do together that we found entertaining. Write it down on a paper, make sure that you have everything, and so in case of an emergency you can always pull them out at the last minute, and that's how you're going to be more prepared, right? So that will work definitely on the side of being prepared for entertaining your type of things as well. And also it's about like prepare yourself on reorganize the space. If you have to work from home, where you're going to work from home, is it the most appropriate space? You know, like trying to fix all these little things. Do we need to reorganize the bedroom of the kids? Do we need to change a certain thing in the house or whatever? Like basically let your creativity speak, and so lift all the barriers that you have right there, because you know you're going to have to live in that space 24/7 for a certain amount of time. So you have to feel comfortable around the place where you're going to be. Okay, so prepare yourself like this as much as possible, and that's going to help you to go through that. All right, let's move on to the next question, is how to structure your day. So basically what's happening, as soon as we enter those lockdown period or whatever, we are here all day and we just keep losing track of time sometimes, or I forgot I was supposed to do this, I was supposed to do that. So it's the perfect opportunity to start to write down maybe a schedule for yourself and for all the other people that you have in the house with you in the family. So you could get like a massive whiteboard if you want, or a big piece of paper. Up to you to be creative and all of that. Put some colors, put a lot of fun into that. Like it has to be something visually appealing, and start to write down the different things that you're going to do during the week or during the day. What I would recommend is don't use like a marker, just use like something that you can erase easily, because basically you want to kind of play around. So you can do the list of tasks that needs to be done, or what would you like to do, and then you're going to place them all around the board like that, and then that's how you're going to build up your schedule. You can play with color code if you prefer. The red, for example, could be entertainment, the green could be work, the blue could be, I don't know, like cooking or whatever it is, you know. And so just play with that and put that all over the board and everything. But just to do that will keep your mind actually fairly active and fairly busy, and it's going to take you away from what's happening out there in the world. And that's going to get you to, okay, this is how I structure my day, this is what I'm going to do, I want to do this, I want to do that. And it's the perfect opportunity to fit those little things that you wanted to do. So Wanted to play the piano? There you go. You know that you're going to have like 1 hour every day to play the piano and that type of thing. Okay. So that's how you structure your day. You sit down, you have a look, and you put it down on paper. The next one is how to avoid conflict with people in your bubble. Wow, that's a really, really big one, and I love this one. So it's something that is very common. That's a question that I had actually quite a lot recently. People are asking me, how do I keep sane? It's as simple as this. Basically, the key is communication. You will have to communicate as much as possible. It might be a time where you maybe feel that you're going to over-communicate. Although I definitely appreciate the fact that it's not always comfortable to communicate, because some of us are actually very private and we don't communicate that much. But you have to understand the fact that the person on the other side doesn't always understand where you're coming from, doesn't always understand what's your point of view, even if you've been married together for 40 years, you know what I mean? So you need to communicate. You need to communicate with a person and tell them how you feel, tell them when they do a certain thing, how it makes you feel. And what is very important is try not to speak from an emotional perspective, because you might gonna bring some sadness or anger into the conversation. And if you do, the person on the other side is not going to be receptive. So it's not going to be a constructive conversation. So you want to have those type of conversation when you feel peaceful and you know, fairly quiet. So a bit of meditation can help you with that. But you want to engage a conversation and be like, okay, certain things are not working at the moment. I'm getting a bit annoyed by this or by that. Is there any way we can make it work differently? And once you're going to start sharing this with the people, you're going to realize that there's a few things that you are doing yourself that could be annoying for the other person as well. So it's just a matter to put all the cards on the table, being open. So be open to receive some feedback as well about a few things, and be open on the fact that if you do a bit of your part and if they play a bit of their part, then you're going to be on the common ground to stay sane and to avoid conflict within your bubble. Okay. Finally, I'm gonna pick that last one. I really like that one because I actually experienced this myself at home. Is how to handle working from home and toddler at the same time. All right. So for some of you out here, so yes, you are working from home, and yes, you have the kids at home. Depending on the age of the kids, if they're already at school, then they might have some times, they might be old enough to kind of entertain themselves, right? But for other people, maybe they have toddlers. When they have toddlers, you know, like a 2 or 3 years old, it's actually very challenging because they're very demanding, you know, and I really, really get that, trust me. So the idea is, if you are in a relationship, so if you are not the single parent at home, then you need to set boundaries with your partner or with whoever is at home, and just try to play tag with each other, and just to say, hey, I have an hour meeting that is happening right here. Can you look after the little ones during that time, and vice versa, you know? So it's about like having the conversation with each other, but it's also about having the conversation with your respective employers. That's how you're going to make it work. So you need to explain to your employers, I'm having a little one at home. I need you to understand that we have to play tag at home, you know? And so it's about being creative. It's about provide solutions as well. Try to think outside of the box. And so, you know, for myself, I had to change my hours of working, and sometimes I have to work late at night. But because I work late at night, then basically during the day I can look after the little one, and my partner is able to take on some meetings and phone calls important for work, you know? So it's all about finding the right balance to be able to do that. So one of you can look after the little one, right? Now, if you are a single parent, or if you are too busy even as a couple and it's not that easy, then it's really going to be about trying to communicate with your toddler as much as possible. And it's quite a difficult exercise, but it's about, you got to find a way to entertain them while you can get your work going. And what you want to avoid is to have them to get tantrum and that type of things. So communication with your toddler becomes very, very important. What I would recommend is reach out to some experts about toddlers and how to better communicate with them. Because even if they're only 2 years old, you know, they're starting to communicate in their own way. and when you start to chat with those experts, you start to understand that there's a process in how they do things. So try to understand how they work and try to prevent the tantrum that they're going to throw. And maybe by doing this, you're going to review the structure of what you're doing with them, and that's going to help you to avoid tantrum. If they avoid tantrum, then you can spend more time on working on that type of things, right? So it could be like a whole discussion on that. I know that it's quite a challenging one, but at the end of the day, you're doing an amazing job. And trust me, it's a period of time. We've never seen that before. It's the first time it's happening in the history of the world, or I would say to our modern world. So all of us, we're trying to figure out the way we can. It's all about communication. Communicate with people around you, communicate with whoever you have to make them understand this is what's happening and I'm getting overwhelmed with what's happening. And if you don't communicate, then no one will be able to bring you solutions. Communicate and reach out. That's my best advice for you guys. All right. I'll see you soon for the next lots of questions. So feel free to send as much as you want, and good luck for the rest. Take care. That was Sofian from Shaking Minds. Bye.